Hello and welcome all of you to the introductory class on operating systems. I am Dr. Shankar, Professor and Head, Department of CSE, Hindustan College of Engineering and Technology. So this class is intended to cover an introduction to the operating systems. These are the various topics that are covered under unit number 1 in the operating systems. They are listed as follows: computer system overview, basic elements, instruction execution, interrupts, operating systems overview, evolution of operating system, computer system organization, operating system structure and operations, system calls, system programs, OS generation, and system boot. So these are the various topics that are covered in unit number 1. In this class, we'll be presenting an introduction to the operating system for all of you to get an overview about the operating system and the various concepts, various important concepts that are involved in the operating system. First of all, we would like to see what is the definition of an operating system. An operating system, or in short, it is abbreviated as OS, is actually a system software that manages computer hardware, software resources, and provides common services for computer programs. I will show you a simple diagrammatic representation of the operating system. So you can see in this diagram, here is situated the operating system. The operating system actually acts as an interface between the user and the computer hardware. So the operating system lies in between the user and the computer hardware. That is why we say that it acts as an interface between the user and the computer hardware. And various types of operating systems are present that we will be seeing in the future slides. And here I have given a web resource. You can refer to the web resource about the basics of the operating system, or how to understand the basics of the operating system. The web resource has been given here. You can refer to that link. So next we will move on to the further elaboration on the operating system. As I told all of you already, an operating system, OS, is a software that acts as an interface between computer hardware components and the user. Every computer system must have at least one OS or one operating system to run the other programs. So using the OS only, we are going to run the various programs in the computer. Operating system or OS manages all of the software and hardware on the computer. So it is managing the resources of the computer, both the software as well as the hardware. And various applications like browsers, MS Office, Notepad, games, etc. need some environment to run and perform its tasks. So basically, that environment is provided by the operating system. So various applications need to run on a computer, and the OS is the one that provides the environment to run those applications. Again, we will see a diagrammatical representation for making things easier or simpler to understand. So we have hardware, operating system, as well as the end user. As you can see over here, the hardware. So the various hardware components of the computer, they are CPU, central processing unit, memory, hard drive, etc. These are the various hardware components that are present in the computer. Then comes the operating system, or here comes the operating system. So the various types of operating systems that are present are Windows, Apple OS, Linux, etc. Then finally, the end user comes into the picture. So actually, the operating system acts as an interface between the hardware and the end user, as you can see over in this diagram. On the right hand side, the another diagram is given where the layered approach is given as a diagrammatic representation, or we can also say this as a simple architecture of the operating system. So the bottommost layer, as you can see, the bottommost layer is the hardware. The various hardware components like central processing unit, the memory or the random access memory, RAM, the input-output components, the input-output peripheral units, everything is present in the hardware layer. And just above the hardware layer, we have the software layer. The software layer is nothing but there are two types of softwares that are available: system softwares and application softwares. So the operating system is actually a system software, and it is also helping to manage and run the various application softwares, as you can see over here. So that is the middle layer. Actually, the operating system acts as an interface between the hardware and the user, and the topmost layer is the end user. As we can see, the topmost layer is the end users. There may be n number of users who are present: user 1, user 2, etc. up to user n. So multiple users are supported by an operating system, which is called as a multi-user operating system. So this is the simple representation of an operating system as a layered architecture approach. So the explanation is given in this particular slide, whatever we have discussed in the previous diagrammatical representation. So the OS helps you to communicate with the computer without knowing how to speak the computer's language. So we people don't know the computer's language, which is normally a machine language, which is represented in only ones and zeros, but the OS knows how to communicate in the computer language to make the computer understand what we are trying to speak, to make the hardware understand and get our job or task done, get our application program run. So it is not possible for the user to use any computer or mobile device without having an operating system. So it is impossible to run any application program without an operating system, either be it a desktop, laptop, or a mobile device. Most of the time, there are several different computer programs running at the same time. So that is what we call as a multi-programming environment. And they all need to access the computer's CPU, the memory, storage, etc. In that case, the operating system acts as a resource manager and coordinates the tasks and makes our program to execute successfully in the computer using the computer hardware. So that is where the key role of the operating system comes into picture. The various examples of OS. As you can see, there are various examples or real-time examples of OS that are available, provided by the Apple, which is a Mac OS, Macintosh OS, or the Apple OS. Then Linux OS is available. Windows, which is nothing but, of course, all of you know, Windows is an operating system that is provided by the company Microsoft. Then iOS, again iOS is provided by the Apple company for the iPhones. And then Android, the popular mobile phones nowadays comes with the Android operating system. All of you might be using it. Then the Ubuntu. Ubuntu is again a flavor of Linux OS. So these are the different types or different examples or different real examples of the OS that are available in the market. History of the operating system. As a computer science student or be it any person who want to understand about the operating system, we need to understand the history of the operating system, how the operating system has undergone evolution over the period of years. So operating systems were first developed in the late 1950s to manage tape storage or magnetic tape storage. Then came the General Motors Research Lab, the GM Research Lab, implemented the first OS in the early 1950s for their IBM Machine 701. In the mid 1960s, operating systems started to use disks. In the late 1960s, the first version of the Unix OS was developed. So initially, the Unix OS was developed using the C programming language. The first OS built by Microsoft was disk operating system. It is called as the MS-DOS operating system. Even now it is available whenever we use a computer system. By default, it is coming loaded with the MS-DOS operating system or Microsoft DOS operating system. It was built in 1981 And then the present day popular OS, that is Windows, first came into existence in 1985 when a GUI. What is the GUI I'm talking about? So the GUI is actually the graphical user interface. It is called as the graphical user interface. So nowadays, very easily we are interacting with the system because of this GUI, graphical user interface, which was created and paired with the MS-DOS. That is the Microsoft Disk Operating System. So usually whenever a Windows machine comes, it comes with the MS-DOS as well as the particular flavor of the Windows operating system, say Windows 10. Types of the operating system. So following are the popular types of the operating system that are available. Number 1, the batch operating system. Number 2, multitasking or time sharing OS. Number 3, multi-processing OS. Number 4, real-time OS. Number 5, distributed OS. Number 6, network OS. And number 7, mobile OS or mobile operating system. So these are the popular types of the operating system that are available. So once again, the various types of the operating system that is explained in a diagrammatical approach or diagrammatical manner. You can see over here, we have multi-programming or batch operating system, multi-programming operating system or batch operating system, time-sharing operating system, multi-process operating system, mobile operating system, real-time operating system, or in short, it is called as RTOS, the real-time operating system. The distributed operating system, network operating system, simple batch operating system, etc. So these are the various types of the operating system that are available. Next comes the features of the operating system. What are the various features of the operating system? So the operating system runs in 2 modes normally. They are the protected and supervisor mode. Then it allows the disk access and file systems, device drivers, networking, security, everything. So the operating system is the one which controls the disk access. It supports the file systems, and then it provides disk device drivers and also provides the networking security. Device drivers are used to support the various devices that are connected to the computer. Device driver softwares. Again, it is a type of system software. Then it supports the program execution. Operating system also performs memory management and also virtual memory multitasking, virtual memory management, and it handles the IO operations. Operating system takes care of the file system. Manipulation of the file system is done by operating system. Normally, we have different types of file systems that are available like NTFS, FAT, etc. So NTFS stands for Network File System and FAT stands for File Allocation Table kind of file system. So these are the various file systems that are available, and the OS is the one which supports these kind of file systems and manipulates the file system. OS is responsible for error detection and handling. OS is also responsible for resource allocation and resource management, and OS takes care of information and resource protection. So these are the various features of the operating systems, or we can say various functionalities of the operating system. So these are the references that I have taken in order to prepare the presentation. You can see over there. Thank you all of you. So we shall have a quick recap of whatever we have seen in this class so that it will be easier to continue in the future classes. So we started with a basic introduction of the operating system, the definition of the operating system, which I explained using a diagrammatic representation and a web resource. Then the various definitions of the operating system with examples, diagrammatical representation of the operating system, again the architecture diagram of the operating system, layer architecture approach, explanation of the various functionalities of the operating system, the examples of the OS which are really available in the market, history or evolution of the operating system, the various types of operating system, diagrammatical representation for various types of the operating system, and also the features of the operating system or various tasks or functionalities or functions of the operating system. All of these things we covered in the basic introduction class to the operating system. The rest we shall cover in the future classes. Thank you for listening. Thank you all. See you in the next class. Thank you.